3, 2, 1. Third time, my friend. What's going on back here on the Liver Shot Podcast? What's going on, man?
Well, I don't know. We had a pretty good weekend in UFC. A lot of stuff went down. Just had UFC 235, a couple huge welterweight fights, and John Jones made his return to the octagon, so that was great. Since last time we watched maybe Stephen Struve's last fight in the octagon, and we've had some injuries come up pretty lately that have derailed some fighters, so let's go ahead and start with that. Just this week, it was announced that Paige Van Zandt broke her arm. And
second time.
Yeah, she had to drop out of UFC 236.
Did you see the picture? She posted it right on Instagram right as it happened. Just a huge bow.
Oh, yeah, it looked brutal.
It was bad. Yeah. So, sorry, Paige. Hope a good recovery on that.
Gokhan Saki also.
I didn't know about this. Yeah, you told me this.
Yeah, he has to pull out his fight, which both of these fighters are not like elite, top of their division fighters.
No. They're entry.
But they are both very fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
So both of those fights I was actually looking forward to seeing. So it's unfortunate to see both of them go. Another unfortunate story, Mirko Cro Cop suffered a stroke after his last fight and has retired.
And he just had a recent fight. I mean, this was just out the gate.
Oh, he fought in February.
Yeah, I mean, he's not been out of the UFC more than almost a year. I mean, this guy's still out there slinging the rope. That's crazy. But, I mean, think how long that guy and how many wars he's been through. Unfortunately, I didn't ever want to see somebody get a wake-up call by a stroke, but it might be a godsend if he recovers well. I think
it's in his career is incredible, like legendary shit.
There's nobody that doesn't know who he is.
Like he's one of the first fighters I remember watching. He had 2 separate stints in the UFC.
Yes.
So he just beat Roy Nelson in February. And
that's been around forever.
He was avenging a previous loss to Roy Nelson there.
Yes.
And he ended his career on a 10-fight win streak.
Gosh. That's insane.
We were talking before this.
Talk about staying active.
He started his first professional MMA fight was in 2001.
Wow.
18 years ago.
That's amazing.
And
well, props Cro Cop, man.
Yeah, it's great to see him get out of the game, but unfortunate to see the stroke. But
yeah,
crazy.
Yikes.
And then just this morning, I heard that Jose Aldo has signed on for another fight, so we're going to see him fight
right back
again,
in action
against Alexander Volkanovski.
The Great White.
I was hoping to see him fight Brian Ortega next.
Yep.
But this is a good matchup, and I think it's going to advance the division, especially since Max's next fight, even though it's soon, is at the lightweight.
Lightweight, yeah.
This is, if anyone wants to get that shot when he comes back down, whoever's winning this is going to be the front runner, I think.
Yeah, and that'd be a great fight either way. So, yeah, great for Aldo, and good for Alexander. He's come up the ropes quick, so, I mean, that's a very makeable, obvious fight for anybody in there. And then by the time, you get Ortega in there, you're backing it up with even a better fight. 2 guys that can easily go to the top here soon, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be obviously, but we'll see who Volkanovski is now.
Yeah. This is
Jose
the line
Aldo
cutoff.
This is
the very big cutoff with Jose Aldo.
You get past him, you leveled up.
Yep.
So that's a big opportunity for both those guys, especially
good for him.
Aldo ever wants another shot at it.
Yes.
He's got to win that fight. So yeah, that's the big news from this week. But 2 weekends ago, there was a fight on ESPN Plus that featured main event of Thiago Santos and Jan Blachowicz.
Beretta.
But there were some interesting fights that night.
Yes.
So the first one we want to talk about today is Peter Yan and John Dodson. What did you think of watching that fight?
So Peter Yan definitely surprised me. I didn't think he would be as... Everybody in that division's fast. I didn't think he'd be that technically fast and kind of controlled the fight as usual, which a lot of people have controlled Dodson's fights. Like, he kind of plays kind of like a cat. He jumps back and forth, doesn't do a lot of damage, but Jan really showed how quick he's come up the ranks. Huge win for him. Big move up to hopefully fight a guy that maybe is in the top 10 again. So I it's tough for me to get behind Dodson because he does so many of these fights, honestly.
Yeah, when we were watching it, I remember the announcer talking about how Dodson is one of the quickest and most explosive fighters in the division.
And everyone says it before every fight.
And I think he was. And I don't think he is anymore.
No, that's tough to keep that speed.
He didn't look like that at all to me.
He's been, gotta think, Dodson was on the same season as TJ Dillashaw in the Ultimate Fighter.
Long time.
It's not rodeo. So, yeah, Father Time could definitely be kicking up.
Yeah, I thought Jan controlled every bit of that fight. I also thought Dodson was just like trying to make a case for the refs about every little thing. Like he wasn't even concentrating on the fight.
Very crybaby.
I thought it was a bad look. I don't know.
It's unfortunate to say, but that's pretty much what everybody else has felt about this fight.
I actually thought he was going to fall further in the rankings than he did. I don't know where he is now. I think he only fell a couple spots. But Jan has moved up quite a bit. And I think that a good opponent for him next might be Jimmy Rivera. I think he called him out after the fight.
Back-to-back losses. Jimmy needs a resurrection, or he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Right. So he's coming off a loss. Jan needs a good top 10 guy. I think that's a fight that lets him know if he needs to be up in the top of that division or not.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll definitely be a wake-up. And again, there's a lot of guys coming up the rankings right now in Bantam that have a chance to climb 4 or 5 spots really quick. I mean, we'll get into it later, but the Cody situation. You can jump people quick and you can be somebody, and you can also go back down quick, especially in that division. So it'll be interesting to see what happens for both of them after that decision there. A lot of decisions for Dodson.
Yeah. Also that night, Liz Carmouche defeated Lucy Pugilova. And the crowd did not like her.
No, gave it to her.
They thought Lucy Pugilova won, and I honestly kind of agree. I thought she did a lot more damage. I was
surprised. More aggressive.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear Liz got the decision. I'm not sure. You saw the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, Liz always plays tough, but it definitely seemed like she got tagged a lot more and had a lot more damage overall, or just punch volume on top of her. So I don't know. It'll be interesting, to see where they both go after this. I mean, it wasn't the most exciting fight, but it's just one of those trade back and forth. It's a big fight for each. Do you think Pudilova moves up quick, or?
I think she gets another fight against a ranked fighter. I think she just Yeah, I think she, I don't know. I think that Liz needs to get a fight against someone who just won.
Yeah.
I don't think she needs to get someone that's ranked higher than her. I don't think she deserves that after that fight.
No, play someone in the same pool.
Montana De La Rosa and Andrea Lee both just won.
Yep.
They'd be on about the same time frame. They made me look at a bad matchup. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Let's see. Also, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Stefan Struve fought Marco Rogerio de Lima, and he got clipped.
Yeah.
He went down like in the first few seconds of the fight.
Pretty classic.
I did not see that coming at all. He didn't use his length at all to defend that whole first.
Which he hasn't been. I don't understand.
Yeah, that has never really been his style. He's never used his height to his advantage, and I think that's really what his opportunity was. But the whole first round, he was on his ass.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was in guard.
He said afterwards. He said they asked him, what were you thinking when you got clipped? He's like, can you show that to me on the
screen? He said he couldn't remember.
Because I was not out.
I was out, and he just happened to come back with enough energy.
He said I woke up and he was in my guard, and I was like, all right,
imagine
how did I get here?
That'd be the worst nightmare ever, waking up from that.
Yeah, I think I heard him say that he thought that he caught a dirty shot when he went to tap the gloves, because the last thing he remembered was tapping gloves in the beginning of the fight.
Oh, that's not good.
So he didn't even know what happened.
A little bit of brain shut off. That'd be all right, Struve.
Yeah, but the second round, he got a hold of him.
Yeah. Struve's known for that. He's quick on changing his game. I think he played a really good tactical game the rest. I mean, Struve's always aggressive. He's fun to watch. I mean, it's 7-foot dude just throwing bombs. But yeah, good thing for Struve on that win. For anybody that doesn't know, Struve had some heart issues that's been going on like the last 3-4 years. And he basically said, he's like, I pretty much think that I'm done. This is probably retirement for me. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, he took his gloves off.
Took his gloves off, put him in the center of the ring. I think he is a 50-50, but most likely because it's a health issue, I don't see him taking the risk any further than he has. Phenomenal career. I mean, everybody remembers Stefan Struve, not just because he's 7 foot, because the guy was just like super nice, but was in some wars. Mark Hunt. I mean, he's had a lot of big times. Stipe Miocic, I mean, he beat him. Guy's had a track record, so...
Oh, he's been in the UFC a long time.
I think 11 or 12 years, something like that, maybe even longer.
I think he was one of the youngest guys when he got in. I think he was 20 or 21 when he got in.
Gosh, yeah, because he's only like 31.
Yeah, he's not that old.
So it's not like he's, cashing out at 38, going on 39 birthday this year, saying, yeah, it's probably time to hang it up.
Yeah, I do think his intentions right now are to never fight again.
Yeah.
I heard some interviews he's talking about pursuing other career paths, but there's a lot of fighters that come back.
Well, when it's a health issue and it's one that's dealing with the most important part of your body, you probably don't want to take any more risks than you already have.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was good to see him win.
Congrats, Struve.
Yeah, I think he was on 3 losses in a row, but he got a good win to go out on. He said he wasn't planning on renouncing his retirement. It was something that after the fight, it just felt right. It felt like this is where I should do it.
Yeah. Which is probably a godsend, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good way to go out for sure. That's better than some other ways.
I'm still living. Yeah, so congrats, Struve.
And the fight before that I just skipped over was Mikhail Oleksiejczuk.
Wow.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
And he knocked out Jan Delante in the first round. And that was a back and forth fight.
Yeah, and that was a lot of trading. That was an entertaining fight. That was something I did not see, I don't think, coming on that, but...
He took him down with a body shot.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the best time.
I know. You see
that's the best type of win when you're trying to make a big...
I got him with the liver shot.
Yep. Yeah, so, I mean, liver shot, shit. I mean, that's... In that weight division, that's a monster win for that. So, that's awesome. I don't know, after that, could be some movement quick.
Yeah, I was trying to think who he should have. And I was thinking maybe Misha, who just got knocked out by Johnny Walker.
Ooh.
He's gonna be like he's
redeeming.
He's gonna want to prove himself against another ranked fighter. Misha's probably gonna be suspended for a bit though.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
But somebody else could pop up quick. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, Vincent Prue and Nikita Krylov are fighting soon. And I think maybe the loser of that fight would be a good matchup.
Jimmy Moanawa, maybe. I know he's fallen on some hard times. He's had a lot of knockouts, a lot of stuff, but he's definitely a guy that one win could get him back in to where he goes on another streak because he's just a freak. So could be a big fight for either of them because he beats Jimmy Moanawa. That pops him up 3-4 spots. Next thing you know, you're fighting top 5 guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, like we talked about last week, that lightweight division is just like the bantamweight division. You can flip-flop 7 spots in 2 fights real quick.
Right. Yeah, it's really top-heavy. Yeah. If you're up at the top, you're up at the top, and then below like the top 5 or top 6, you can fall off in 6 through 15 real quick. And then the main event that night was Thiago Santos and Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah, little Moretta.
And Thiago knocked him out in the 3rd round. He's just been knocking everyone out.
I think he came up to the light heavyweight kind of like Anthony Smith, who just fought John Jones, where I'm keeping the weight and I'm also keeping the hands. And I think the weight cut's helping. I think the size advantage of replenishing's helping. And also, Moretta is just fucking crazy.
He's crazy.
So he's going to go in there and literally throw bombs, and he knows if I get knocked out with another bomb, I'm okay with it as long as I took a chance. He does not have a game plan half the time except to beat the dog shit out of your legs or beat the dog shit out of your head. And that's exactly what he did to Ian. I mean, early on. So, hell of a fight. Good for him.
It was a hell of a fight.
He's coming up again. He's doing basically an Anthony Smith schedule timeline right now of, I got 3 wins in a row. I want to go fight a guy that's top 3, 4, maybe 5 at the latest.
Who, Thiago?
Oh, yeah.
No, he's got John Jones.
I don't know if you give him... I know we talked about this. I don't know if you give him Jones that quick because...
He wants it. Dana wants it.
I know, but do you want another Anthony Smith situation? So you just want Jones to
fight all the undefeated fighters. Oh, I'm on a streak. Fight him. I think that. I mean, it's not like doesn't have experience. I think Johnny Walker cannot fight him right now. I think Dominic Reyes needs another fight.
Dominic Reyes.
Both of those guys need to work their way up.
Then why not fight Corey Anderson?
Corey Anderson is coming off of 3 wins.
Yes.
He has...
Corey Anderson is a perfect contest to say, this is the last step before you go to the top, boy, because a guy that just tried the same thing...
No. Okay, I was saying you were making a case that Corey Anderson should be the next fight for Thiago Santos.
Yes.
Should be the next fight for John Jones.
No, God, no.
Then I think, okay.
Thiago needs to fight somebody before Jones.
Who does Jones fight?
Corey Anderson. Jones waits, because it's going to be quick. It's going to be a quick knockout. Jones has no damage right now, even after a 5-round fight with Anthony Smith. He'll be out on a short suspension. He'll fight in 2 months. Let those guys pound out. And then if no one gets too hurt, either bump somebody up that's not hurt or take the guy that won in the fight, go right to Jones.
I cannot disagree more. I really cannot.
Oh, wow. All right. All right. This is good.
The only fight you can make here is John Jones. And I think if John Jones, unless John Jones goes a different direction, it's on John Jones. If John Jones wants to fight Israel Adesanya, because he's been talking bullshit about that,
or if he wants to move to
go up to heavyweight and fight some, then he'll do that. But I think if John Jones is going to defend his light heavyweight title, the fight you have to make right now, because they're both ready to go and they're both marketable. It's the same damn thing that happened with Anthony Smith.
Yes.
You move up the division, you get 3 knockouts.
And you go right to the top.
And you're the guy. You're the guy that's got oh my gosh, have you seen him fight at light heavyweight now?
Yeah.
And you got all the buzz, you have all the momentum. It happened with Volkan. That's what we were talking about. It happened with Volkan.
He was right there at the finish line too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now it's Anthony Smith, and you just get turned away when you get to the top. And no, there is still another level. But you have to keep on going, because you can't just have him fight the same 2 or 3 guys all the time. I think that is the fight that has to happen. And I don't think that Jan drops too much. I think that's where the cutoff is. It's like...
Yeah, that's a shallow end. Everybody's going to be swimming there for a while.
It's super top heavy.
Yeah, and you're going to be like, all right, well, let's see what happens. Yeah, that's a good point.
So what I'd be looking for Jan, I think, after this fight is Glover Teixeira or Ilir Latifi.
So drop him down to guys almost under 10. Okay. Which Tex is.
I think that they are both older. Or they're all 3 older. Are they all 3 coming off losses? No, Glover Teixeira's not.
No.
But I think
Glover's starting to make a little bit of headway. That Corey Anderson fight didn't help.
I think it makes sense for them 3, or I don't know, him to fight one of those 2 guys, and then come back up and fight the top contenders. So I think he needs to take a step down in competition, because
it's a proving point.
Like we're talking, Thiago's not the cream of the crop. We don't think. No. And so he needs to take a step down in his next fight. But I think Jones, if he chooses to fight light heavyweight, Thiago's the fight to make there.
Okay. All right. We'll see what happens. Nice.
And that leads us into this past Saturday's fight card, UFC 235. And it was a big card.
Yeah.
I was really excited for all these fights.
Great card.
No one missed weight.
No, that's the best thing.
I watched that bullshit.
I watched that weight cut on Friday. I'm like, thank you for once. There was no one that was even close, let alone you knew if just one person missed weight, even in the early prelims. It's like, come on, let's have a fucking clean card and go with it. So, yeah, could have been a better main of art.
Jones did test positive for picograms or something.
Just enough picograms to keep it squeaky clean.
Yeah. But, so all the fights went on as planned. It was a great card.
Stacked
2 title fights. Both went 5 rounds.
This whole card was stacked to the fucking first fight of the night.
Former champions former champions in 4 fights on the main card.
Yes. And legends too.
Yeah. It was crazy. Nuts. In a good undercard.
Yeah.
So the first fight we want to talk about on that card was Alejandro Perez and Cody Stamann.
Yes.
I didn't get to see this fight. What did you think of it?
I mean, not like my most entertaining fight ever. I think it was a lot of two really talented guys that were on top of each other, on top of their game. But I don't know. It's a decision fight. They traded back and forth a lot. I don't really know if that was really the fight that everybody wants to watch. But, I mean, two really good fighters. I definitely got a chance to make a move. I think it helps Cody tremendous. But, again, it wasn't something that took my socks off, to be honest with you. I didn't think it brought as much value as everybody talked about.
I did read after the fight that Cody Stamann said that that in his post-fight interview, he would have called out a top 10 opponent if he had thought he had fought better. He said he was not pleased with his performance.
And I think he's a perfectionist.
And he was saying he didn't think after that he deserved a top 10 opponent, which you don't ever hear people
you don't
say
ever hear.
No.
So hats off to him on that. Yeah, I don't know. For me, that just was not a fight that caught my eye enough, if that makes sense.
What do you think about Diego Sanchez knocking out Mickey Gall?
I tell you what, Diego looked, for being in the UFC since 2000, whatever, 2-3, he's literally fought almost everybody in almost every weight class. You know, people don't realize he came
all
in.
over the place.
He was at middleweight when he came into the Ultimate Fighter. He's fought at middleweight, welterweight.
He's fighting at lightweight for a long time.
I think they said lightweight for a while.
Yeah, he was talking. I heard him in an interview very recently talk about how much better he feels at welterweight now.
Yeah, it's a very good fit for him.
He says he cuts like 4 pounds.
Well, yeah, he's walking around normal. He keeps his gas tank. Thing about him, two things that I noticed in that fight. One, gas tank still, even at his age, and just how much he's just excited still to fight.
He's still savage.
He just goes into every fight saying, hey, I'm still fighting, I'm excited, I love to do it, and I'm going to go and be a fucking wild man. Instead of like, yeah, I've been doing this for 17 years and I'm a little burnt out. Like, the amount of heart that guy still has. And then two, his ground and pound pour on game, where he just threw elbow after elbow after elbow, clipping Gall, knees to the upper sternum. He took the wind out of Gall at one point, hit him right in the sternum and the solar plex, dropped him. Gall looked like he was out of gas. Gall said, I don't know if you heard, had a really bad weight cut, passed out, got brought back, almost had to go to the emergency. They didn't let it happen. Didn't get replenished well, just didn't feel good. So that could have been a factor. But regardless, this is why you don't call out Diego Sanchez, because the last two people that have done it, Craig White, who has now been released from the UFC, was his second loss, said I'll walk through Diego and put the last nail in his coffin, cut. Mickey Gall, who was supposed to be the next phenom, who he only had 4 fights that were professional, came in, had this happen, all because he beat CM Punk. He decided to jump up 5 spots.
Right.
That was all promotional. We all know that, but we won't say anything. Anyway, Gall is very nasty. He's also very young and not extremely experienced in the longevity that Diego is. Diego showed him what it felt like to be smothered, pounded on, and not able to breathe until he finally finished him. Got his back. Diego got up. It was like just another day at the office. So Diego's just entertaining. Yeah, we all know Diego would have to make a 6-fight run to be considered a top contender. But you know what? That guy's not going to retire anytime soon. We get to see Diego Sanchez 2 to 3 more times here recently because he's already won a fight, so he's got 2 more guaranteed this year. So now you're going to have entertaining fights there that people might get back on the Diego train. I like it.
Oh, everyone likes it.
Everybody's on Diego, but sometimes you forget about it. You know, you kind of forget about it.
That's great. It's fantastic. Did you see what he was saying, that Mickey Gall bit him?
Yes.
Eye gouged him?
Right under his tit. Yeah.
Wow.
Just to get out of position.
Yeah, I think that Mickey needed to win this fight. He may be on his way out.
If I was working with that guy, I'd say, if that happens, that looks bad on us. You got to move to another team. We just coached you to bite a guy. You just bit a legend because you couldn't handle it. But we don't know.
Yeah, crazy. But glad to see Diego when I think this is his second in a row, right?
Yes.
So that's awesome.
Yes.
Streak. I did hear this crazy stat that he's like the only person to fight at least one fight every year since like I'm going to misquote it, but like 2005 or something.
Oh, yeah,
crazy.
hasn't missed a year
Yeah,
fighting.
like for like in the last 14
just
years,
always
at
banging.
least fight one fight every year.
And out of Jackson Wink now.
Yeah.
I mean, to stick with them and just be a savage that long. So, yeah, great fight, Diego. Mickey, I don't know what's next for him after that because much shit as he's been talking, that could really hurt his positioning in the UFC.
Yeah, I think it does. If he has another fight, it's a must-win.
Yeah,
he can't,
it really is.
He cannot lose another one.
No.
So, yeah, he got a gimme win against CM Punk, and then in high-profile
it was
win.
huge.
Yeah, but he is not the potential everyone thought.
No.
Someone who might have crazy potential is Johnny Walker.
Told you.
So I
had it on paper,
That
baby.
was a quick
you.
fight. I think he's had 3 fights. He's been in the ring less than 3 minutes in the UFC.
Yep.
All knockouts.
And all of them knockouts. Well, Justin Ledet was a spinning back fist knockout. This was a flying knee that was absolutely landed perfect and made it look like it was just another day in the office. And I mean, that's my quote for that card. Everybody there acted like it was another day at the office. And you'll know that when we get to the higher people in this fight. But for Misha, that hurts a lot. He's a veteran. He's been around. That was a big fight for him to really get back into contention hard. Johnny flew up the ranks. Johnny's phenomenal. I hated to see that at the end he got goofy.
Such a damn
Did
shame.
a little worm faked fall, landed on that arm. Apparently, Joe Rogan thought it was dislocated. Some other people thought it was torn. He said, my arm's okay. I'm getting MRI today, but they won't let me know what's going on for another day. Anything could happen. That would suck to see a guy lose a good career for something that stupid, but also it could be nothing too. We don't know.
Yeah.
He could come out and knock somebody the fuck out real quick.
It's not going to be nothing.
It's not going to be nothing.
It is something.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you have to have the doctors come over after your fight for a celebration, you got hurt, that's a problem.
Yeah,
so hopefully it's nothing too bad.
If your shoulder is compromised at all, it's something.
That's bad.
But I thought that film was fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
Just because right before he did it, it almost reminded me like an old Anderson Silva, where you make the feints and for a little bit you're reading on them and you're really not too worried about them hitting you. You're just seeing where their head's going to be.
Yep.
And then you make your hit, and you could just see him eyeing him up, and he's like, "All right, I got you figured out."
It's almost like he's ahead of you. It's almost like he's ahead of you where you're going to go.
It was, I don't know. Just watch. I've rewatched that clip, that less than a minute, 30-something seconds, so many times, and you can just see him. All right, I got you.
I'm already here.
Yeah.
I think his timing for a guy that size, it's kind of like what everybody's been saying. When you get super athletes like him, like an Eric Anders, Johnny Walker, I mean, obviously Tyron Woodley, guys that could play running back right now for a team. Yoel Romero.
If crazy athletes were playing MMA.
Yeah, if you got a LeBron James at 25 and said, I want you to get in this ring and I want you to just swing as hard as you can, and the guy that you're fighting is only 5'10", go ahead and just do that. That's the thing is dude, like that DJ Metcalf dude at the draft. Oh my God.
Whoever that receiver. Oh my goodness, dude. If he was a fighter.
Yeah, could you imagine running a 4-3 and you're in a little ring, so that means you're quick. It's just the point of it all is the amount of power, muscle, and just athleticism coming into the UFC, because people go, oh, I was really good at football. That transcends over here pretty well. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to knock you the fuck out. Anthony Johnson style. Yeah, I don't like fighting, but I'm really good at it, so I'm going to do it because I'm always winning. I mean, when you got guys with that power, strength, and athleticism, it's a scary beast because you could be so technical in one shot, you're toast.
The other thing, the other side of the coin is...
I knew that was coming.
We haven't seen him get in deep waters like past a minute and a half.
Well, because makes sure
you don't know
happens.
what he looks like when there's pressure on him. That's what. Who do you think he fights next?
Perfect. So, 2 scenarios for me. You go to a feeding of the wolves situation with dropping a Jimmy Manowalt to him and saying, Jimmy, if you lose to this guy, we're cutting your ass. So there's going to be a lot of motivation.
There's something on the line.
There's a lot of motivation for Jimmy to go, okay, coach, I'm going to probably try to just fight my lights out. Oh, and by the way, you're going to fight the lights out against a guy that acts like he's going to a grocery store to pick up bananas because he's so fucking relaxed. And now you're going to put him in the ring with this guy that wants to kill or he's going to lose his job. So automatically you say, Let's put them two together. One gets out, and I bring another guy up. And then after that, he can start fighting top 7, 8 contenders.
Yeah, I don't think he should be fighting anyone in the top 10.
No. And Jimmy Manuwa honestly shouldn't be in the top 10. It's because he's had some monster fights prior to that. And be honest, Glover Teixeira fell on some hard times again. That's just honestly what it is.
Yeah, I think that as long as his injury doesn't hold him out, and then this fight doesn't hold injuries out, back to that Ovince St. Preux and Nikita Krylov fight.
Yes.
The winner of that.
Yes.
Might be Ovince St. Preux. That's who Johnny Walker just stepped in for on short notice.
That can make sense too.
I think Ovince is. I mean, these guys he's knocking out have a lot of experience.
He's always fucking dangerous.
But I think that he may be someone who can test Johnny into a longer fight. And see a little bit more
wear
of his
him
game.
down. Yeah, and especially someone like Ovince St. Preux that's been in those deep waters. He knows how to grind it for 3.
That's where I was about to go, but so does Misha. So did
true.
Camille Roundtree.
Yeah, if you're put out.
I mean, these dudes are not rookies.
If you don't get to see the 30 seconds that you normally get to see, it doesn't matter how good your cardio is because you're out.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. It's just, we haven't seen how good his wrestling is. I heard he's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, but
nobody did about Anderson Silva. No one knew Anderson Silva could wrestle because he's just fucking knocking everybody out.
I mean, you don't know. Yeah. So I don't think that he needs to have like a top 5 type guy. I mean, that's what we talked about. Like the very top of this division.
It's scary.
It's really good.
That's a scary area.
He's pulling for a Gustafsson fight. They're fighting in Sweden here in a little bit.
Yeah.
And he wants to fight Gustafsson, and I think that's ambitious. I would like to see him fight definitely someone out of that top 5.
That's a huge
maybe
jump.
Maybe Volkan.
You got to remember, John Jones has fought Gustafsson a lot, which means Gustafsson's always at the top. That's a huge jump. You're basically fighting the guy standing in front of John Jones. Saying,
I know.
Once you beat me, no, you cannot make that jump.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's too big a call out.
To me, if there's no injuries involved, I think the winner of that Ovince St. Preux and Nikita Krylov fight is going to be.
It makes sense.
That's a good spot for him to be.
It makes sense.
I think it was the main event of the prelim card was Jeremy Stephens and Zabit.
Yeah, very interesting fight.
I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was entertaining fight too.
The entire time.
It was close.
Yeah.
It was definitely 2 rounds to 1.
It definitely showed that Zabit was finally tested in a form of not worrying about losing, but worrying about I can only mess up so many times with a guy like Jeremy Stephens that can put you out with just one fucking shot. And that's the issue, is he hasn't fought a guy that's probably going to do that every time he throws a punch. Mm-hmm. They might get 1 or 10 punches area of that. Jeremy Stephens throws everything in every punch, and that's why people love seeing him. The problem is when you're fighting just a technical guru like Zabit, it's so hard for a guy like Stephens that's shorter and doesn't have the reach. He can't get inside, so Zabit just kind of took his shots when he could, added them up, got the volume within long length. And he had some good shots on too, but Jeremy landed a lot of fucking bombs on his nose. He had a lot of straight jabs that were very vicious, so I think it shows that fight could have changed really quick, that if Zabit would have got hit clean with one Jeremy Stephens, right now we're talking about Jeremy Stephens, who you fighting next?
Jeremy Stephens is a hell of a fighter.
Always has been.
Zabit had a great fight.
Not his best performance, I'll have to say. His creativity.
This is the best person he's ever fought, though. That's why
That's why I bring that up. Is I'm glad to see this wasn't his best performance, because 1, I'd be scared if he's that fucking good and he's just been kind of sandbagging. Or 2, it goes, okay, this is where you should be. You should have a little struggle here, because now when you beat this guy, the confidence level goes right up. Then he can jump into a situation where, I hate to say it, Zabit, Frankie Edgar next sounds terrific.
That's what I was going to ask you. So I wanted to see Zabit and Alex Volkanovski, because they're both real
like
young.
That too. Very young.
Because I was pulling for the Aldo Ortega fight, and then I thought this would be the other fight.
Which made sense at the time.
But now they made the Aldo Volkanovski fight. So let's just go ahead and say I would like to see him fight Ortega.
Yes.
I think it's appropriate. I think there's enough hype about this guy. And if he really wants to be a contender, I would not have an issue after beating Jeremy Stephens I mean, then have your shot. I mean, it's not your shot at the title because you beat Jeremy Stephens. No. But if you want to fight the top contender because you beat Jeremy Stephens, I got no problem with that.
Yeah, because Renata's coming off a loss from Jose, so he's gone. Frankie's obviously coming off a win over Cub. But
I'd love to see him have the next shot at Max.
But Alexander Volkanovski is on a five or six win streak right now.
Was it beats on like a 13-win streak or something?
No, that's
right?
my point. Let's just let him air it out right now. Like
that's what I wanted.
No.
But he just signed that fight with Aldo.
Well, why is that still not in the cards if Alexander loses? That's still the same difference as fighting originally how he was. Just because he's coming off a loss doesn't mean he still can't fight him.
No, I just think that he's going to I would hope that
he'll get lined up with somebody else.
I try and
I don't think he took much damage. That was, a 3-round fight, so I don't think he took enough damage to be out too long. But no, I get what you're saying. Both fights are phenomenal. That's the best part. That's the cool part.
All these guys up here, it's nice because on Max's way up, he cleaned out the division.
And it's fun.
And now the division's turning over. And now there's a bunch of other guys that are going to get to the top of the division.
Yes.
And he can start defending other guys now.
And thinking a very scary thing for Max that I'm sure is in the back of his head. Max is leaving his division to go and fight in another division to potentially lose. So he's not losing anything out of his division, but he's losing huge confidence because if he gets knocked out by Dustin Poirier, all of these guys are hungrier and shit. They're going to say, look, this dude just came off a loss. He was not cutting weight in that fight. Now he's got to cut back massive weight. And we know, I'm sure everybody knows Tanner loves talking about cutting fucking weight. But it's the truth in the sport. Max would not have to take a monster cut at lightweight. Him at featherweight, he's going to take that monster cut, and maybe his body isn't ready for it again that quick.
155 is still a big cut for him, right?
It's a huge cut.
The whole thing with
it's a fucking 25-pound cut.
He had to drop like 30 pounds.
He couldn't get down to 155 in, I think they said 15 days.
I think he walks around like 180, man.
If you look at these guys, so many people will tell you, if you saw that guy, you thought he was a light heavyweight. Because they're just so fucking big. Yeah. And this is a guy in featherweight. They're just so fucking big.
So anyways, I think that there's tons of challengers coming up that are getting ready for Max.
What
about Jeremy Stephens? He's fun to watch. Who does he get next?
You could get really creative and not drop him down a lot just because the talent is a beat. You could get situation with Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson is on a 3-loss losing streak. Jeremy Stephens now is going to be on a 2-loss losing streak. Let them hash it out for jobs. I know I'm getting a little greedy with the job situation, but Cub loses one more.
No, dude. Cub loses. No, they're not going to cut Cub.
If Cub loses one more, I promise you he will be cut. He is on a fucking
3-fight losing streak. You know who those people are? Brian Ortega, Frankie Edgar, Renato Moicano.
Yeah, and then you go down to Art Lobov.
Yeah, he beat Artem Lobov.
And then
he beat Doho Choi.
Okay, that's fine. I get that. When's the last time you've heard of Choi? When's the last time you heard of Artem Lobov? He's been cut, and Choi hasn't had a fucking fight in a year.
Choi had to go to the fucking Korean military for 2 years or whatever.
Shit.
That fight was so badass. Yeah.
So it was a Korean zombie situation.
Cub will leave when he needs to.
Do you think Do Choi comes back, Chang Zung style? Is it Korean zombie?
So that's who I think he should fight.
I like that because that's a death fight.
I was picking Yair or Korean Zombie who just fought each other. I think
we always go back to Yair.
Either one of those fights, I would love to see Jeremy Stephens in. I think that would be a fun as hell fight to watch.
Yair and Jeremy Stephens and fucking who you just brought up? Cub.
No, they just fought, didn't they?
No, I'm sorry, Korean Zombie.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm saying Korean Zombie or fucking any of those guys is phenomenal anyway. Then you let him Jeremy Stephens, that's fireworks.
Jeremy Stephens, I would say I would love for his next fight to be against Zombie or Yair.
I like that. I like that a lot. Perfect.
And then getting into the pay-per-view.
Yep.
First fight, former champion, Cody Garbrandt got knocked the fuck out.
Well,
third time in a row.
This is true, but
by Pedro Munoz.
So one, I was very impressed with Pedro. I was already impressed with Pedro before this fight because I saw his other fights. I saw just the quickness, the speed of the Bantam division. He was definitely already a new up and comer. Here's the thing. you got somebody like Cody that no matter what goes in very passionate, very emotional, and basically ready to take you out at any point. Yes, his last 2 losses, TJ Dillashaw, who is the bantamweight champion. You're going to have a situation where your fighting style can catch up to you, or you can be too obvious. Cody's at a point right now, everybody knows his game, everybody knows he wants to bang out. It's who gets hit first, or the hardest. Cody in this fight, unlike TJ though, was throwing flying knees. He was throwing inside rib kicks, high kicks. He was getting in the front of his fucking lower calf, kicked the dog shit out of, but he was fighting right through it. He said he got headbutted, saw red, got mad, lost his whole game plan, just wanted to swing Cody style, which we all have seen before. I think Pedro could have been in the same situation as Cody, but I think Cody's not being honest that that's just Cody's fight, and that's okay. The problem with that is it's cost you 3 losses in a row when you took the belt from Dominic Cruz that did the exact same thing. Dominic Cruz lost his game plan, lost his foot speed, lost his timing because Cody was so fast, so virtuosious, and he just wanted to go in and be like, hey, I'm shutting your game down, and whatever else you're doing, I'm going to shut that down also. And by the way, I'm going to point at you and laugh at you. TJ did that to him, and Pedro came in, had a good night, landed good hands, showed Cody you can't get in the pocket with everybody and win every time.
No, I heard Pedro say that was his game plan, was to try and bait Cody in to just a brawl.
Yeah.
Because
that's his style.
Pedro can take a fucking punch.
He's got a hell of a chin on him. The guy's got a hell of a chin on him.
And Cody's now, I mean, he's prone to knockouts 3 in a row. But
which you don't ever want to see, but
he has the capability of sticking to a game plan, and I've seen him do it.
That's what got him where he was.
Yeah.
That's where it got him where he was. But the thing is, Cody's also just throwing crazy punches inside the pocket, getting inside you and just saying, let's trade. That got him there, but it could have also made him never be a name known again. And I'm sorry. TJ Dillashaw, that was his goal. I love Cody Garbrandt to death, but brother, I love you, man, Ohio boy. You have to go in the next fight and stick to the plan, and whoever it is, dismangle them.
Otherwise, you get cut.
Because not only, yeah, I'm just gonna cut Cody Garbrandt from the UFC, one of my favorite.
Well, he's on a 3-fight.
One of my over top 3 fighters of all time that I love. Yeah, Cody, you're out of here. No. Cody's situation, I don't say it's much different, but Cody would be in a cutting situation on a 4th loss. Not after it, but if he went 5, he's toast.
Cody, I guess if you keep getting knocked out, you should just
Cody's
quit.
Best game plan right now is if he gets a fight with someone. Some people are saying John Dobson. I think that's a super boring fight because I think Cody goes inside and just beats the dog shit out of the body in his face. But also, Cody needs to do whatever he can do to go in and chip away and then finish and have a very tactical fight to show people, okay, I can still do the shit I did to get there.
Dominic Cruz over a 5-round fight. No one beats Dominic Cruz in a 5-round fight.
Let alone Dominic Cruz that has the most bizarre style of all time and the worst timing that you could ever try to replicate. And he beat
by decision.
By decision.
Yeah,
so the thing about it is, Dom got that way, being different. Cody got that way, being different. The problem is, Dom's not fighting. He's a commentator. He gets hurt all the time.
Yeah, it is just unfortunate.
And with Garbrandt, he's going in there reckless. So right now, Garbrandt could only have 2 losses maybe on his record instead of his 3. Or hell, he could have almost had 1. Got his belt back.
Yeah, he's got
so
3 losses. But
the guy's been in there. He's already been a champion. He does one good move right now. He's right back into redeeming it. I could guarantee you, Cody Garbrandt could have the strap by 2022. It's going to take that long.
Oh yeah, he's got to get way back in line.
That is an absolute firestorm to walk through in that division, like we always talk about. But if he wins 3 more fights in a row, that 3rd fight is the belt. I love Cody. I don't want to see that happen anymore because people love watching his fights, but you cannot turn into a Diego Sanchez in that division this young in your career. And no offense to Diego, but Cody's not 34 right now and been fighting 60 fights in his life. Cody does not have that many fights on his belt. you need to have longevity because you're 27. You got 4 more years of good fighting in you before things change. Get in there and start making the changes now. That's all I'm saying, brother.
What about Pedro? Where does he go from here?
Pedro goes up quick.
Fight?
Pedro goes up quick. Maybe I was thinking from where the list had moved, maybe he goes with a Rob Font.
I like someone way higher.
Really?
Yeah, like Aljamain, just one.
You know, I do, but the thing is, Aljamain is doing some crazy things ever since he's got knocked out by Morales. And I think he's got a hell of a lot better record in fighters right now than Rob Font. So I think one more challenge, then get up to the Sterling areas.
You think so?
Well, John Dobson just lost to a decision, so he's dropping down.
Where's Pedro at now? Go up.
No, I don't think so.
He's 4.
Oh, wow. So he did make... Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's all the way up there. Give him Aljamain.
Well...
It's him or Rafael Assunção.
I did not know he made that big a jump. Wow.
He just fucking knocked out Cody, man.
No, I know that. I'm saying...
I guess he'd be another person Dominic Cruz could come back and fight.
Yeah, but the
there's
thing
always
is,
that.
when is that going to happen? When I retire? Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to wait on that fight. Yeah. Yeah, geez. I cannot believe he was not already that high up. And Rafael Assunção just lost, so he's coming back down. Yeah. That's some good lineups there. Yeah, Aljamain Sterling, that makes sense. Who else?
I mean, Aljamain just beat Jimmy Rivera. Pedro just beat Cody.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's it.
I think Marlon's going to wait until...
Yes, he's going to wait to get his title shot, which he deserves.
Yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't need to take someone below him.
The fight has to be Aljamain.
He's ranked number 1. Don't take someone below you just because you need to buy time. Wait for the fight with TJ or anyone else that could possibly slip in there, and then go.
Yeah, I think he's got to be a fight away from a title shot.
Yeah, not that I don't think TJ's going to fight Cejudo at 135. They're going to rematch at 125. But
I don't know, man.
I can tell you this: that fight I don't like.
The Cejudo Dillashaw fight. Yeah,
no, I want TJ to stay within his division and be the John Jones of his division and see what he can put down as a legacy. That's all I'm saying.
He's got one title, one title defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go be chasing other titles when you have one title defense.
I just don't want him chasing money fights.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Tisha Torres and Zhang Weili or Weili Zhang?
Yeah, I can't say that
Ming
one.
Yao or Yao Ming?
Yao Ming. It's all the same.
But Tisha Torres got upset. I guess I don't know that by the rankings got upset. But I don't know who the betting favorite was. What'd you think of that one?
You know, Tisha's been around a long time. I watched her on The Ultimate Fighter, and I don't know. I don't think she's going to ever get across that, 5 spot. I think she's always going to stay around, the 7, the 10. Wang's coming up with, obviously, this first win here. I don't know what's going to happen to Tisha. That's 3 in a row, so below her... Michelle Walterson's probably going to pass her now. There's some other fighters that are maybe coming up that she could fight, to give them some tough love. I mean, maybe Cynthia Calvillo. But Cynthia just came off a win, so she might even move up. I don't know with that division right now because there is so much movement in there with these girls, and they're all trading so much. I mean, Caroline Kavakovich at one point was like a number 2 contender. She lost her.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement.
She lost her one fight to Jessica Andrade and dropped down to 6 quick. So anybody right now can fight anybody there in the strawweight division, especially since so many girls have moved from strawweight up to flyweight.
Yeah,
honestly.
There's a lot of movement in all of these divisions right now.
Yep. So great fight. I just think Tisha Torres is notorious to go into a decision and lose, and she can't finish the fight. She's small. I don't think she can finish people out. I really don't. Sorry.
After that, we got into the back-to-back welterweight fights.
Yeah, buddy.
I think I was most excited for this Ben Askren Robbie Lawler fight.
So different.
It started out. So I was like, oh my god! After all of this, Askren's gonna get knocked out in fucking a minute.
It looked like a dad bod coming out there. He looked like he was wearing some Nacho Libre golden trunks, coming out with the dad bod, didn't even do his hair.
Oh, well, yeah, I was expecting the dad bod and the hair, but I wasn't expecting Robbie Lawler to drop him on his head.
Did you expect Robbie Lawler
wailing on him?
Did you expect Robbie Lawler to come out and look like he just killed somebody's dog in the front yard? I mean, the guy came in looking so angry, like something had happened to him.
He looked good and strong, too.
And he looked good, clean cut, good muscle. And yeah, I mean, he picked up Askren almost Fedor style. It was like, hey, you looking to break your neck? Because it's right here.
I couldn't believe. I just didn't think he was that strong.
It also goes to show that Askren can take a shot, because if you look at the video,
oh yeah, dude,
Askren could have easily could have been stopped on that second to last punch, because he dropped and went limp, and it was almost like, oh, is he out? And then Robbie's yelling, he's out, trying to get the fight to go quicker.
Oh, Robbie was yelling that?
Robbie was yelling because he was laying haymaker. Do you want to be hit by Robbie Lawler in the 5th round or the 1st round? The answer is neither. No. Because I'm telling you, that guy will throw bombs all day, and he was fresh 30 seconds into the fight, but it shows Ben Askren came over, took his time, took the shots. He goes, everyone's like, did you expect to take so much damage in the Robbie Lawler fight? He goes, yeah, it's fucking Robbie Lawler, man. I prepared for this.
Yeah.
The issue is, a fight like that, the last thing it needed, Greg Hardy style, is a fucking situation with a mess up with the alleged early stoppage or the misunderstanding of the stoppage. I want to get your insight on it before I get into it, because I watched that live.
Right. So I watched it live, but I was at a bar.
Yeah, a little different.
And like I said, couldn't believe that it was about to end in a minute.
After everyone talked up Askren.
Well, I'd been excited to see Askren fight, but I was like, and Robbie Lawler.
Robbie Lawler is never a bad fight.
I love fucking watching Robbie Lawler fight.
There's never a bad Robbie Lawler fight.
I was so excited for this fight, and then I thought it was going to end quickly. And
you in America.
Then Askren stayed with it, worked his way to the grab,
took the shots.
Yeah, got the choke on, and then I started drinking, and I looked up, and the fight was called, and I just figured Robbie Lawler tapped because I saw him in the choke.
Oh yeah, he was already in the choke,
and
which was a high choke too.
I was like, oh okay, that's crazy. I was excited to see him. I didn't think he was gonna take Robbie Lawler out in a round.
Hell no.
And then I read afterwards that he didn't tap. He wasn't out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've heard people say he was out, but he came back. You
can watch 600 different camera angles. The arm drops, but Robbie also gives a thumbs up. So in that case, the mind, blood, situation like that, adrenaline, so much can change so quick. Robbie could have been choked out for a second and then came back too. We all had that when we were a kid, where you're like half knocked out, but you're there. Or Robbie could have been a great actor, and Ben Askren also had 2 more minutes in that round to have your neck in a 160.
Yeah.
Instead of fucking deciding to say, you know what, we probably should call this right here, because Ben Askren's got a grip to smash a pumpkin that he's shown on Instagram. See, and I also think the limp arm from Robbie didn't help his case. I know he wasn't trying to grab on the fence, but maybe when you're in that position, you got to keep moving. You got to try to get out of that position. Standing there and trying to ride it out against a guy like Ben Askren is not going to be good for your case. Plus, let alone, do you want to get tired having your neck wrenched for 4 minutes in a round? Because he had 2 minutes by the time they called that fight. I don't know if Robbie Lawler could take a bulldog choke like that for 2 more minutes from Ben Askren.
No, I don't know that he could have. But I think you got to give him a chance. I think that if he's wailing on him, you have the opportunity to call the fight. No, you call the fight. If you're choking him, what are you going to do? Put him out? It's not like, I mean,
no, I know. You don't want to get to that point.
Yeah, when you're choking someone, you're not. It's not the repetitive hits to the head that you're saving them from.
Yes.
That's why you call the fight when they're covered up and you're just bashing them in the head. When you're putting them to sleep, the worst thing that's going to happen is they go to sleep.
They go to sleep, yeah.
Yeah, so in that situation, I think you let it go until you're absolutely sure. I understand why he reacted, why Herb Dean called the fight, because
the first step.
You see his hand fall. He clearly looks like he's out of it.
Similar Machida situation. Machida went limp like that, and then he was out. That's what happens when you go to sleep. Yeah.
But he dropped him, and that's when you could have waited for him to drop him because he knew he was out. I mean,
especially with a guy the size of Robbie Lawler, and Ben Askren's been in that situation so many times. He's going to look at Herb and go, he's out.
I've heard some people say, some Gracies come out and say that Robbie Lawler was not going to survive that round.
Yeah.
But I'd still like to see it.
You want to see it go to the absolute maximum, because in this sport, unfortunately, this is a hurting sport, so a lot of things hurt. Let's think about it. A head kick. Do you want to see a guy take several head kicks or several rear naked chokes? Probably more rear naked chokes, because you're not rattling the brain with a piece of bone from someone else. So I agree with you. I don't think that Herb Dean made the worst call in the world.
Yeah, I understand how he got to there.
I need 5 more seconds in that to change my mind that we wouldn't even be talking about that right now. What it would be a picture of is Robbie Lawler half possummed on the side of the road on the front of the magazine from a chokeout from Ben Askren, who is a crossover promotion first debut fight in the UFC.
Because what's the damage of 5 to 10 more seconds?
It's not going to matter.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree with you.
So because of the potential early stoppage,
yes,
UFC wants, at least Dana White said he'd be interested in a rematch. Robbie Lawler definitely wants a rematch.
I want you to talk about that, because I'm going to use the restroom, because I have a little opinion on it, but I'd like to hear yours on the way back.
So we got the UFC and Dana White and Robbie Lawler all saying that they want a rematch with Ben Askren. Ben Askren saying, no, I'm good. I didn't want to fight him the first time. No, I don't want to fight him a second time. I won. Regardless of, it's not up to me to call when the fight's over. I just do what they tell me to do. And he said he was very confident Robbie Lawler was not getting out of that. He felt that he was out, and that's when Herb Dean came in to stop the fight. He let go of his choke, and that bit of blood that came back, Robbie Lawler came right back, which, looking at the video, it's a possibility. But he has said that he's not into that rematch. So if there is no rematch, he's been chasing around Darren Till. He's going to London to watch Darren Till fight next weekend against Jorge Masvidal.
You were going to say the same thing I was going to say.
And he's made it very public. He's not a fan of the guy.
Nope.
So he wants that fight really bad.
Yep.
I think that that's probably the fight to make. I'd love to see the Robbie Lawler fight again. Hopefully they both have another fight, have wins.
Yes.
And then it's like a title, like a number 1 contender fight.
It's a contender fight.
100%. I would be absolutely fine with not seeing it as an absolute or as an immediate rematch.
Yeah.
Because
it doesn't make much sense.
We did just see it. I mean,
and it wasn't anything that blew anyone's absolute mind. So, because you had that controversial stoppage. It's not a fight right now people are super excited about. But if Ben Askren could have just been absolutely knocked out flat, and then he was never heard of again, then Robbie Lawler is getting ready to go on a tear.
Right. I mean, Robbie Lawler's scary for anyone to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, he's scary for anyone. He has 2 losses in a row now, 3 out of 4, but he's a fucking killer, man.
Yeah.
He's a monster. So it's a big win for Askren. Like he said, he claims to like Robbie, didn't want to fight him. I wouldn't want to fight Robbie.
No, I don't care how much. Yeah, I don't care what's going on. I don't want to go into Robbie Lawler. But the thing is, that's where the line's drawn in the sand. That is so deep that Robbie Lawler is someone you have to get through lower in the rankings. You're like, who the fuck else is above this guy? This guy is knocked out and made people look stupid. And then obviously Tyron Woodley, you got that situation now we'll talk about later, but you got guys like them that you have to go through to get to the top.
Right.
That division right now is literally a rolling, spinning ball of fire that anybody, again, can make a jump, and also every fight's fucking entertaining.
Oh, yeah, they're all great fights.
There's not any snores.
A fantastic division right now.
Sorry
yeah,
to leave you there.
I think he needs a top contender, but he cannot challenge for the title yet. So he needs another win, and then if he wins that, maybe a title shot. So I think Till's the guy. He was talking a lot of shit with Usman before the fight, but he doesn't get the title fight now that Usman's got it.
Yeah.
So I think Darren Till is the fight to make, unless Dana just absolutely does hate him and insists on a fight with Lawler and won't offer him anything else. So if he refuses to fight him, I can't imagine he's gonna push it too hard.
No.
But yeah, so I'd like to see Darren Till next.
Yeah, and I agree.
And then his buddy, Tyron Woodley, fought after him and did not defend his title against Kamaru Usman.
Usman, wow.
This fight blew my mind.
It shows the absolute... Well, here, you go ahead first because I'll have my own.
I couldn't believe how dominant Kamaru Usman was. The title defenses that I've seen Tyron Woodley make, I have been incredibly impressed with. The Wonder Boy draw was, I thought, a super entertaining fight. I thought it was crazy back and forth. I thought the draw was entirely appropriate. That said, I think there wasn't a time where Wonder Boy was in danger. I don't think there was ever a time when Woodley was in danger, but I thought that I thought Wonder Boy won 3 rounds and Woodley did a lot more damage, and I thought the draw was great. The second Wonder Boy fight was boring, but Woodley made the fight into a fight that he was going to win. He was going to win that fight.
It was that technical of a fight.
He didn't let Wonder Boy dictate anything. He made sure exactly what was going on the entire time, was never uncomfortable.
Yes.
And it wasn't an entertaining fight to watch, but it was, to me, flawless.
Yeah.
Like the game plan, it was just absolutely follow the game plan for 5 rounds and win.
It shows
and
the
retain.
level.
Yeah, so I was impressed with that.
Yeah, I like that
the
a lot.
Damian Maia fight. Also,
oh my gosh.
Not a ton of punches thrown, significant strikes landed, but he made sure Damian Maia didn't beat him. And
he knew his strengths.
Damian Maia is, if he gets a hold of you, he beats you.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an incredible fight. He fucked up Darren Till when everyone thought Darren Till was going to give him all kinds of trouble.
Well, Darren was ripping through the ranks, and Tyron had been smashing everybody else, so it came to a point when Darren said, let's do it. Everybody kind of wanted to see, is this kid for real? And the thing is, like I've said before, there is levels to this shit. And you go up there against a Tyron Woodley who's just a Mack truck. And also, Darren's always making a really nasty long cut. Imagine that. I'm talking about that. But my point of that is, you make that nasty cut all the time at welterweight with these guys that are fully coming in, just ready to go. You have to be on your game. And I think Till got tested with strength, one, and also, if I'm put on my back, I have no idea how to get out of my back.
Yeah, he was inferior on the ground. I mean, that's just made very clear.
I give Darren props. He can take a shot. That fucking smash from Woodley that put him on his back, most guys would be out. He took the punch, landed down, and then just got his wits about him, but once he was on his back, he was just a turtle getting spun.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. It's there's a lot of movement right now going on that is interesting. But Usman, going back to him, just the overall game plan and his drive, cardio, and strength to tow around and throw Tyron Woodley around like he's done other people in that division.
For 25 minutes straight. The entire fight, he was just...
Overall pressure, Khabib
ragdolling him.
But picking him up and then never being complained about being broken up for non-activity, never complaining about anything Woodley was cheating, like grabbing the fence, grabbing gloves.
Or getting made to stand up.
Or getting made to stand up.
I mean, to separate. I mean, he's on top of the guy, and the ref says you're not doing enough.
Took his time, went inside, and also just showed, I'm going to make it to where your game is shut down, which Tyron Woodley has done to other people. So that is what intrigued me is, one, this is a guy that beat a guy that no one else had the same game plan as. And two, this is a guy that's fighting for Africa, of people that don't make it and are having rough lives, third world countries. Like, this guy just came from the depths and just said, I'm coming up through this ranks. I'm going to show everybody you have no fucking idea what you're about to play with.
Yeah, I've been impressed every time I've watched Kamaru Usman fight. This is by far the most impressive. I was not expecting
just
this
overwhelming
kind of a beatdown. I thought it was a possibility he won. I thought it was going to go to decision. I thought it was going to be a close fight, and I thought Tyron Woodley was going to win. It was not close. No. It was so dominant. And to me, the most telling part of the fight, every single time the bell rang, Kamaru Usman was on top. He got up.
Yep.
He strutted over to his corner, not out of breath, sat down, listened to his coaches.
Posed.
And Tyron Woodley had this bewildered look on his face, and like dragged himself up the fence so he could stand up, and just rested there.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? And then walked over to his corner, and it was like you could just tell he was beat.
Yeah, life sucked out of him
every single round. Yeah, it was. I was incredibly impressed with Usman.
Do you think Woodley looked off? Do you think there was something wrong with Woodley, or is this just the real Woodley?
I think he's overwhelmed.
Do you think this is almost a 37-year-old Tyron Woodley who has done older, not even that. He has been doing this and dominating this long and has been trying to start his own career outside of it. Not saying, his jobs and everything are making him not a good fighter. Do you think that it's just the time that maybe he's got a foot out and he's just keeping that foot in because why not? I've been winning. I'm top of the food chain. Everyone's got to come to me to get this belt. And it became so secondary to his other life because he knows he's not going to fight till he's 60. So maybe he already had a foot out and he's like, it won't affect me.
I don't think so.
You don't?
I think that
with all the rap albums and all the TV shows and doing commercials and running around for advertisements, you don't think at some point he goes, should I really have... What's Usman doing every time he's on a yacht doing a commercial for Patron?
Mm-hmm.
Usman's in the gym, getting yoked, hitting pads, hitting bags, going down ground and pound, jiu-jitsu, going probably 75 wrestling classes hours a week, while Woodley's out doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's not trying to take a foot out. He is taking a foot out because I guarantee when Tyron had his first fight ever in the UFC, he never left his gym.
What do you think he'd had his first championship fight in the UFC?
When he had his first win over championship over Robbie Lawler.
Yeah.
What year?
No. Do you think he was doing other shit when he had his first winning over Robbie Lawler?
Not like this.
Yeah.
Not this elite.
Yeah,
I think when he knocked out Robbie Lawler, he was on a mission like everyone else, like Usman. If you're in my way, I'm going to take you out, and even if it's the worst fight of my life, like Robbie Lawler did to Rory twice, I'm going to make sure I'm there at the top. You have it, and you either keep it forever, Diego Sanchez style, or you get to a point that it naturally comes out of you and you realize, okay, shit can be different. I don't think Tyron ever planned to lose, which made it really easy for him to lose.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to say that he wasn't training hard enough to do it. I don't know about that.
Yeah, we're not there. I'm not speculating. I'm stating a reality fact that Tyron Woodley might decide this is not what he wants to do for another 2-3 years.
Yeah, I think he's got to be at the tail end of his career. He was looking to make a move up to middleweight. Now he's not doing that. He's trying to get the title back.
I think he gets thrown around middleweight.
It's going to be, what do you think is the next fight for both these fighters? Do you give Tyron Woodley a rematch? He out of everyone that is currently a champion in the UFC, he had the most consecutive title defenses. Is that enough to merit an immediate title rematch?
I feel bad for Woodley on this topic because if Woodley stays, he looks like he gets preferential treatment, even though him and Dana didn't always see eye to eye because he's defended so many times. I also feel bad for Tyron because they're probably going to throw him back to the wolves of all the dangerous top 5, 6, and 7 guys, to where Tyron is going to have to go through fucking fire to get back to what he held and kept for so long. And I'm worried that's probably what they're going to do. But they're entertaining fights, but I think Colby Covington moves up to fight Usman. Woodley goes down, and you let him go ahead and fight Askren.
They're not going to fight each other.
No, I'm just kidding. I wanted to see if you go with it. Because everybody's like, do you think that'll ever happen? No, it's not going to fucking happen. But honestly, who do you think he fights coming down?
My move is you have Kamaru Usman fight Colby Covington.
Yep.
Absolutely. He has the interim title. You let him do it.
Yep.
I think Kamaru Usman beats Colby. I don't think it's as one-sided as this fight was.
No, I think it's a knockout.
You think so?
I think he gets him with a short elbow coming out of a tie clinch, or just maybe a backwards elbow. Stumbles Colby. Colby just gets put out because Usman's fucking... Did you see the absolute elbow that he landed on Woodley in the tie clinch? It's like he wasn't fucking put out from that.
How many fights do you think it's been since Usman had a knockout?
Had a knockout?
Yeah, you said you're going to put him out with a knockout.
It's probably been 4 fights.
How many fights do you think it's been since Colby's had one?
One?
Had a knockout.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Colby's had
both
a lot
of these fighters just beat you. They don't finish you.
They beat you down.
They beat you up for 5 rounds.
That's a good point.
And I think that one of them...
I was right on Usman, though.
What's that?
4 fights.
Yeah, 4 fights for... Yeah. It's at least 4 for both of them. They just they always go...
And in this division, wow.
Yeah. They win, but they win by decision. And they're convincing decisions. They beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah, there's never a draw.
Yeah. But I think that...
wow.
It's going to go to decision, and it's just going to be fucking war for 25 minutes. I guess there's a possibility they could get knocked out, but I would be expecting it to...
It could be a Rory McDonald Lawler fight, or it could be a where both can't walk.
Yeah.
But it's a decision still.
But I think that's the next fight for Kamaru Usman.
Wow.
They both clearly have hatred toward each other.
It's hilarious.
Or they're great actors.
Yeah.
But I think the move for Tyron is to wait and fight the winner of that. I think that then you give him the rematch. It's not a rematch. You give him a title shot without having to go back into the division.
So you're going with a Tanner perspective on it. I like it. You let him wait. So you like to let Tyron wait for someone to go and trade and see if they can do what he did, and whoever loses or wins, he fights. Or just wins.
Say it again, please.
You're going to let Tyron sit. He doesn't fight anybody right away. You let Usman and Colby go at it. The loser fights Woodley, or the winner?
No, Woodley would fight the winner to get his belt.
So he basically gets put to the side and waits for someone to trade. Okay, that's what I said. It's Tanner style. That's kind of how I am on Jones.
Jones is a champion. You don't have the champion to the side.
I understand that, but there's nobody in that division that's been holding and doing what Jones has. So let's... Like I told you, I know you don't agree with me, we cannot put all the meat in the butcher block and chop it up too quick, because people will not want to watch these fights. I'm not promoting UFC. I'm promoting that we don't have these lazy cards.
Why do you think people know Ronda Rousey?
100%.
Because she was chopping up all the meat.
She was.
That's what people want to see.
And then guess what happened when she fucking got knocked out back-to-back fights? People forgot about her.
Right. But the sport is way bigger now.
I know. I'm afraid that John is going to be doing too many fights and too much shit and too much damage.
Knocked out back-to-back fights, and people are going to forget about John Jones.
Not John Jones being forgot about. I'm thinking that you want to make the right fights with John Jones, not just the next one in line at the lunch lady middle school line. Yeah. But whatever, we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, we are.
We already did that
topic.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. That's how it rolls.
So anyways, yeah, I think that Tyron Woodley should get a title fight next. He should not get the next title fight.
I get you. I like that. I just wanted to make sure that you had a Tanner view.
So the main event of the night, John Jones defending his title against Anthony Smith, and he did. He was pretty dominant. I actually don't think I've ever seen a card where 2 fights go 5 5-minute rounds.
At that level also.
Oh, and both of them so one-sided. Like, both of them, everyone won, like, they won every round.
Yes.
Usman won every single round, and John Jones won every single round. That said, I thought Anthony Smith showed a lot. That at least he is the top 5 of the light heavyweight division for sure. He's tough as fuck. He's taking knees. So, what did you think about the knee? Because I thought, I guess, my understanding was there's not a difference between fingertips and a palm. So that's where I messed it up.
Yes.
So I watched it, like I said, in the bar, so I couldn't hear any of the audio.
Yeah, you're just watching.
They were calling it an illegal call or an illegal knee, and I was wondering how, because he wasn't on his knees.
Yep.
He was up on his feet. He was in a crouched position.
Exactly.
And I guess I did not realize there's a difference between palms and fingertips. But he got deducted 2 points for that.
Yep.
And
right away.
At no point was I ever thinking
John Jones would lose.
No, that Anthony Smith was going to say he couldn't continue.
Oh, no.
It never crossed my mind.
No, absolutely not.
And I was just thinking how he's just taking so much fucking punishment. He's just like, all right, let's keep going.
Anthony Smith went through a lot. Here's my deal. I'm a huge Lionheart fan. I love Anthony Smith. I'm very honest about it. I think Anthony Smith got to a title shot about one fight too soon. And I talk about this a lot. Guys got to put in their worth, because we don't want to see a Darren Till situation or an Anthony Smith situation where you jump up, you're there, you're right in the rankings, you fight the top guy, and you get fucked. I don't want to see that. But I hate to also hear everybody always like, oh, he gave so much heart, he did so well. That's like giving the guy a participation award, okay? We know the guy's fucking tough. We know Anthony Smith's going to go in there nuts. I've listened to everybody. We all know he gave a ton of heart. I love Anthony Smith, but don't use that as, it's okay, man, you'll be fine. This guy wants to fucking go and fight Jones again, and he'll probably fight Jones again.
I think he will at some point.
Unless the huge heavyweight transition, which Jones Jones will move back and forth. But my point is, Anthony Smith's a veteran, absolutely showed amazing talent to be able to. When John Jones say that's my most toughest opponent I've matched against as far as defensively, defensively and figuring out a guy that comes at me when I land an elbow that tells me, come on, he kept talking shit to me. He goes, never fought a guy that defensively to come back and resilient. He kept saying resilient and everything else. My point is, is Anthony Smith probably the most talented martial artist that John Jones has ever fought? No. Probably Machida was.
I think he said most experienced, which might be the case. He may have more fights.
He might have the most fights, but as far as talented martial artists, Machida probably was one of the most nasty as far as dangerousness that he had. And he made him look like a kid.
Yeah.
But overall, fantastic fight to go that long. And, Anthony got busted up. He threw some good shots on Jones. John showed that sometimes he's got to work a little harder than he normally does, and maybe gets a little like, oh shit. But he's still right now just absolutely out of control.
So far ahead of the pack.
He's so far ahead of everyone in the trolley. It's tough.
So, like I said, I think John Jones' next fight should be against Thiago Santos.
Yep.
I think
I understand why you say that.
If you're talking about him as defending the title, that's what you do. Who cares? We can speculate about whatever else John Jones' future is going to be, but I think that's the move if he's
if this stays in the light heavyweight, I think that is the fight they're going to make. And I know we go back and forth about it, but you have to keep someone that wants to be active. And John Jones wants to fight 5 times a year.
So there's no point in letting him do it.
Why would you not want to have your most grossing, unreal, top of the line food chain fight nonstop?
So, Anthony Smith.
Yes.
He's got to stay at the top.
Yeah.
We talked about how Johnny Walker was throwing his name in the ring to fight...
that's a huge jump.
To fight Gustafsson.
Yeah.
But I think that if Anthony Smith can make it in time to fight Gustafsson, that would be a hell of a fight.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I think 2 guys that are completely similar and different. Gustafsson is very cleaner on just his overall mechanics than Anthony Smith, but Anthony Smith knows how to play good defense, take shots, wait till to strike and kill you. I think that's something that he can do that makes an entertaining fight also with another guy that's, gonna also do some entertaining things. So I think that fight makes sense to me if he can wait to be able to fight then.
Yeah, the issue I think is...
That's the issue with Gustafsson.
They're going to be looking to put Gustafsson on the Switzerland card, and I don't know when it is. And it's going to be... Anthony Smith just went through 5 rounds. How long does he have to sit out? I don't remember what the doctor said on him. So if he can make that turnaround, I would love to see him fight Gustafsson. Because that Gustafsson fight that went the distance was my favorite it's Jones fight to watch. So
entertaining every time. And think about it.
So these are the 2 guys that most recently went the distance with him. I'd like to see them fight and see how that goes.
Nice.
And so overall, 236 was 235 was a pretty awesome card.
We've been trying to correct him all day. He's been having 236 every time, but we wrote it down 235.
Like I said,
it's 235.
2 heavyweight or 2 title fights.
Yes.
Both going 5 rounds.
At the highest level.
Yeah, nuts. But it also featured 2 light heavyweight fighters.
Yes.
No, not where I was going. What I wanted to say is that with the success of Anthony Smith,
yes,
now Thiago Santos
staying in light heavyweight,
getting the next. These are 2 guys that went up from middleweight who are not the best middleweights.
No,
went up to light heavyweight, got
their weight class,
a few big wins,
boom,
and then
to the top.
Yeah, now they're getting title shots. Do you think that other middleweights are going to start doing that, like a Rockhold?
And he's talked about it. And there's guys not just because of the cut, because naturally how big they are. I mean, let's imagine a Yoel Romero going up to light heavyweight.
He'd be a huge dude.
He would be a huge dude, but he would keep all his speed, and from that he makes another monster cut.
I'm wondering if you think that middleweights are going to see the success that these middleweights had in the light heavyweight division are going to be like, shit, man, I should give this a go.
They can, but you have to look at the size of Moretta, Santos, and then you also have to look at the size of Anthony Smith. They are guys that are at the height of the guys that are in.
Yeah, they're bigger frames.
You have to be a bigger frame. You have to be a taller fighter. There's a lot of... Like, Luke Rockhold is a taller fighter. He can definitely go over there.
Weidman's a huge dude.
Weidman's a huge fighter. Paulicosa's a huge dude. A Kelvin Gastelum would not benefit going to light heavyweight. And he's already heavy as it is. Yeah. So... You have guys that can do it. I don't know if it's going to be a trend, because if they keep getting chipped off at the top by John Jones, they're going to be like, well, fuck that. I don't want to keep getting starched by that guy. You know what? I'll stay here in middleweight, where if I get knocked out by Robert Whittaker, I'm probably not going to lose my 2 front teeth.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part is...
seeing both of them come up at the same time, not being elite middleweights, but having such success in light heavyweight division, makes me think that there's going to be, we're going to see a lot of fighters, maybe not just middleweight to light heavyweight, but a lot of fighters start moving up in a weight class and realizing that everyone's a fighter. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you can cut 10 more pounds, are you going to beat that guy who can cut 10 more pounds? Maybe, but I think that you should fight at the weight you're best at, not because
find your gap.
Not the weight you can fight at and be the lightest at.
No, and you got a lot of guys that are going to weight classes back and forth, which makes it even tougher. So, a Ben Askren's going to be a really good example of a guy in the welterweight division that doesn't cut a lot of weight. We'll get
He's pushing for that 165 division.
And that's what I wanted to bring up is 165 is something that if that comes about, that's going to change a lot of things, because you're going to have guys from 170 saying, thank fucking God I can save, or I'm sorry, guys from that are normally 170 going to 155 that say, God, I'll just go to 165 and I'll actually be able to live. And also it lets a lot of guys come up all the time and not just randomly, because, that jump from 185 to 170, that same thing from 170, 155, that's just too much weight sometimes for people. You can get, a 70 to 165 is perfect. Those tweeners is what happens. So, But yeah, I'd like to see where that goes this year with that weight class.
Yeah,
especially.
We'll see what Pettis does. I mean,
Pettis is going to be a good example of that.
So, speaking of Pettis, and the UFC 235 card, we just had a lot of shit happen in the welterweight division. So we got brand new entrants of Ben Askren. We have a new champion for the first time in years. A lot of possibilities in the welterweight division, and that's where we happen to be on our stroll through the divisions in the UFC.
Yep, yeah, buddy.
So let's go ahead and pick that up.
All right.
And at UFC 235, we saw a lot of Colby Covington.
With a Magna hat on.
Even though he wasn't competing at UFC 235.
Had his little megaphone. Did you see that?
Oh,
His little miniature megaphone.
He looked funny in that. Oh my God. He looked funny.
He looked like he was at a circus.
Oh, yeah. That was great. Ran into Dana White at the blackjack table. Talk a little shit.
Dana got pissed. Stop filming.
But I think that him doing that didn't hurt his chances, and I think that he is going to be given the next shot at the belt. What do you think of him showing up?
So I think he is like a white trash Connor. He promotes himself to where it's kind of just like, are you really doing this? But you really are like, all right, well, hey, let me get some buddies and watch this, because this guy's, it's kind of like your neighbor that's crazy. He's just going to do stupid shit, but you got to watch it.
Connor, like a young Dave Tanner.
Yeah. All right, well, fair enough. But I think Colby is always helping his stock. He wants somebody to be mad at him. He wants to be the bad guy. He wants to be the dickhead miniature Chael Sonnen that fights these top guys. And there's a reason his name's Chaos for a reason. He's fucking nuts in the cage. But has he ever even touched a sniff of someone like Usman? So that's not only a test for him, it's a huge opportunity for him to take the belt. He had the No, and RDA, here's my thing. If RDA right now was 5 years younger than he is right now and woke up and realized he should have been in the welterweight division.
Another guy that moved up and had a lot of success.
Moved up.
Well, he did have the light heavyweight title, though.
And that was phenomenal. My point is I think RDA earlier in his career should have moved to the 170 division, because I think he could have done way more damage, had that belt back. When you got guys like these guys coming in, it's tough for an RDA to get through the gate, because these guys are just getting so ferocious up at the top.
Yeah, the welterweight division right now is just fucking crazy.
So that's why Covington can go out there and be a complete asshole, because he goes, oh yeah, this guy, I'll already fucking stomp him. Yeah, now, I'll tell you what I want to see. This is me personally. Obviously, we want to see Colby go to fight Usman. He deserves it next. I want to see him fight Usman and lose. Get woke up a little bit. And then I want him to fight.
I think that happens.
I think he fights a Darren Till instantly if Darren Till beats Masvidal. But if Darren Till...
Askren's going to want that fight first.
Exactly. So it's a timing issue. Is how soon can they book the Usman fight with Covington?
Usman's got... He's a brand new champion. First time. He's going to take some time. Go on vacation.
Take 6 months.
Right. He's going to fight one more time this calendar year. It'll be against Colby, and it'll be at the end of the year.
Yeah. Do they fight? Do they let Colby lose and fight like a New Year's Eve fight against Darren Till? Or is Darren Till...
There's a lot of shit that's got to happen between now and then.
That's the problem is Darren Till...
I think the winner of that gets tiring. That's what I said.
I agree with that. The problem is that Darren Till-Masvidal fight could be a fucking brawl.
Could be. Or it could be end quick.
Yeah, that's the problem in this weight class. My point of it is I don't want to see a champion sitting around too long. I don't want to see him starch Colby, and then the next two guys that come up that could fight him are going to get a chance. And, well, you're going to go to Woodley, though. Maybe Woodley fights him before the end of the year?
I don't think so. I think Kamaru Usman fights one more time this year.
You don't think Usman fights... Okay, well, it's March. You let Usman fight, go ahead and beat the dog shit out of Covington, not get busted up, all hypothetical.
Like I said, I think it's going to be a 5-round fight.
Yeah, that's tough to squeeze that in before the new year.
I think that he will fight one more time.
So that would be like a September, maybe August. No, I'm sorry. By the time he stopped training and getting in, that would be like a November to December fight to fight Woodley. Which could happen.
I think it might be like October before he fights Colby. I could see him taking 6 months.
Yeah, I'm just saying they could squeeze an early one in, but I don't know. Yeah, they'd have to fight Colby in August to make it work, in like a December fight, which doesn't matter. We're speculating because with Tyron Woodley right now, he's in a tough position because you're right. He's going to have to move to the side and wait to let another fight happen. So how long does it take to get to that fight? Because the next thing you know, it's 2020. And now Tyron Woodley's almost 38 years old. What do we do?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, but Kamaru Usman said he had a broken foot. He was on a wheelchair. Then he was jumping around.
It showed.
Talking to Colby Covington. So.
Yeah, it shows that you can't believe everything you hear.
I think he's going to take some time to recover. And then also to celebrate his first. I mean,
his firstborn.
The first time that you win your championship, you don't see him turn right around and defend it. You defend it. Once you get in the
Cody took a
rhythm,
year.
Yeah, I mean he's going to enjoy it for a bit. Yeah. So I think that Colby showing up this weekend was enough to say, don't forget about me, and put him in the front runner to get that.
I'm still here.
Whatever he is. So I didn't hate it. I thought that it may get out of hand. We may see some crazy shit.
Yes.
And it did. It wasn't tame, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. So
the thing that scares me about Colby is I know he trains hard. I know he works his ass off. I had known Colby Covington from nobody else. I know he does all this Instagram, all this fun stuff. Colby has not fought since June 8, 2018.
Since he won the interim belt.
That's what we... No, I understand that. My point about it is we have been talking about this when you let guys go on these lags this long. Colby right now has another 3 to 4 months easy of training before he's even going to know if he's going to have to go into a real fight if nobody gets injured or anything else. That's a long absence for him to come back in and fight someone as lead as
It's not ideal.
That's the only thing I want to say is I don't think enough people have forgot. When's the last time you watched a Colby fight? Oh, when he fought Rafa dos Santos? Yeah, I barely remember that fucking fight.
8 months ago, 9 months ago.
It wasn't the most exciting fight. It showed how good Colby was. It showed how RDA was also unreal. It just went to Colby that night.
Yeah.
I worry about you add another 6 months from today on top of him going to fight. Colby is ring rust. Very worrisome.
So we had a couple other big welterweight fights coming up. We just had two huge ones.
Yeah.
We got 2 more coming up very soon. The next one is Darren Till and Jorge Masvidal.
That's in 2 weeks.
2 weeks in London. Ben Askren said he'll be there. He's been, like I said, he's been calling out Darren Till.
Oh, he hates Darren, and Darren cannot stand him.
I think that if this fight stays on the ground, Till has stays standing, Till has a huge advantage.
Oh yeah,
Jorge may try. Jorge may try to take him to the ground.
Yeah,
I see Till winning.
He's good everywhere though. Masvidal is good everywhere.
Yes, he is. He doesn't have like a glaring weakness.
I mean, and the thing about Masvidal too is he still has a chin. He took some time off. So the guy's been able, which, as we saw with Robbie Lawler, sometimes some time off really helps. The last time he fought was in November of 2017. So
that's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time by the time this fight happens.
Coming off 2 losses.
Months.
Man, mine was 2 fights ago.
Yes.
That was a fun fight to watch.
But Masvidal's also a guy that's been around since he's been 19. This guy is a veteran. He's fought the big guys. Yeah, he fucked up Cowboy when Cowboy shouldn't have been a welterweight. He also... was basically waiting for big fights to rip up the ranks and just didn't happen to have fall in good times. Now he's back to a situation where a guy just fought for the title a little while ago, and if he beats a guy that just fought for the title, that's going to absolutely jump him up the ranks.
This win here does a lot for him.
Masvidal probably comes up to a 7 or 6.
Yeah, he goes right back into title contention. Darren Till needs it to stay in title contention.
Yep.
He did just lose to Woodley, but now there's a new champion.
Yep.
And he's got a lot better chance at getting into a fight against Usman than he does against Woodley.
Yes.
I'd love to see that fight too. But I wouldn't mind seeing him
not after that
fight Askren first. because of how great.
Oh, the shit talking
Askren's
just
wrestling is and how poor Till is.
Okay, you think Till can hurt people and knock people out? Go ahead and look at a Robbie Lawler highlight tape. Wasn't like Ben Askren went against the guy that has been fighting for 25 years. Guy's still got power. He's still nuts. Darren Till's the same way. Problem is, Darren Till's younger. Darren Till is on a fucking mad streak right now because he lost to Tyron after going up through the ranks. So he needs this Masvidal win because if not, he is back into a pool of sharks.
Yeah.
And he's already fighting a shark.
Yeah, the sharks are bigger up top.
The sharks already on top.
Yeah, the sharks are bigger up there.
Masvidal has a ton to gain. And unfortunately, Till has a ton to lose.
Yeah,
honestly,
Till just needs a win.
That.
He doesn't. I don't think he needs a win against anyone.
He needs a big boy win.
Yeah, but I think that Askren saw what Woodley did to him. It's like, I can do that, and that's why he's been calling out Darren Till. So yeah, I think that's going to be a great fight. I do think Till's going to win, but I'm very excited to see it. And another one we got coming up is Wonderboy and Pettis.
Yeah.
So these are back-to-back main events on UFC Fight Night cards.
Weight change.
Yeah, Pettis is coming out to welterweight.
Which I'm glad for him because, God, those cuts are bad.
Talking about the weight cuts.
The weight cuts.
No, but seriously. Definitely the most interesting part about fighting.
Yes.
I think that Thompson's going to be too big for him. And
I think
he's going to control the distance.
Yeah. I think he walks him down.
And yeah, I think that it's going to be a decision victory. And Thompson's going to outpoint him maybe every round.
Yeah.
But that's what I see happening. I think Pettis is coming up because he's couldn't find the answers at lightweight anymore. Maybe he's gonna be another guy that comes up and is able to outperform better without cutting that weight. But I think Wonderboy is fantastic, and I don't think that Pettis is at that level.
You know, he didn't give a lot of trouble to Till, but Thompson is obviously always dangerous. You saw what he did.
Was close.
No, it was extremely close. There just wasn't a lot of volume out of anyone, so you didn't really get to see the game plan that you sometimes see. But the problem is everybody's so used to the song and dance of Thompson and Woodley to where Woodley and him were so dangerous together that they had to time each other, and then they had that draw. People aren't excited for Thompson fights. Thompson's had a lot of fun fucking fights where he gets creative.
Oh, yeah, I love Wonderboy fights. I love the karate
Wonderboy
stance.
has the karate stance and the taekwondo background where he's throwing body shots above the waist. He's throwing stuff, side kicks, roundhouse kicks. He's doing stuff entertaining.
He's so good at doing it from range.
And then guess what? Who you just had fight? Anthony Pettis joined you, who throws everything under the sun.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun fight to watch.
I just think the same thing. Pettis is about 3-4 inches too short. The size, weight cut, I think Thompson just keeps the distance, wears him down. And then also Thompson's plenty known to beat the fuck out of your body with his legs. Pettis has had a tough time with body shots in the last couple years. Maybe he makes it to where he doesn't even have to take Pettis out. He just wears him down. He just makes it so he's like, we're bigger, we're going to wear you down. Sorry about it. But it's going to be a terrific fight no matter what. I really don't think it'll be a bore.
So we just had 2 huge welterweight fights in the last pay-per-view.
Yeah. Yep.
We've got 2 more big welterweight fights coming up.
Yep.
What welterweight fights do you want to see made beyond that?
You go first.
So we talked a little bit about Robbie Lawler's next opponent.
Yes.
And Ben Askren's next opponent after this, if they're going to do a rematch or not. My dream fight right now would be Robbie Lawler and Vicente Luque. I think they will just stand up and bang.
It'll be nothing but hands. I can tell you that.
I don't know if Robbie will take that fight. Vicente is a bit further down on the list right now, or down in the rankings than Robbie Lawler is.
I like that.
And Robbie really should only be fighting the top contenders, but I think this is as a fan, this would be the fight I'd love to watch. Another one just based on some banter that's happened and the way it played out with Kamaru just now beating Tyron Woodley. I'd love to see Askren go after Kamaru Usman.
Yeah.
They had a bit of back and forth at the press conference.
Yeah. Not big fans of each other.
Yeah. Askren loves to give him shit. They now that Tyron is no longer the champion, Askren would take a shot at that. I think that would be a fantastic fight to watch as well.
No, I like that. Yeah, I mean, a fight I'd probably add to this that I just thought about is I've always loved Masvidal. I think if he decides to beat Till, put in the effort and everything else, I would love to see him against a Ponzinibbio, because I don't know if Ponzinibbio has seen the talent of a guy that has all the tools. He fought a tough, brass-ass Mike Perry. Mike Perry's just going to swing. He's not going to play as much ground and pound and everything else. He beat Gunnar Nelson, which Gunnar Nelson right now,
Gunnar Nelson's no joke.
No, Gunnar Nelson is no joke, and a lot of people thought Gunnar Nelson right now would be, top 3 with the way he was going, which he still could be. He's not. He's young and everything else. My point is, Ponzinibbio has fought some guys, but let's fight somebody that's a veteran, that's been around, that's not much below you right now, and if he beats you, he's in the top 5 in the next fight after. So both guys have a huge thing to win, because Ponzinibbio goes top 5 or fucking Masvidal goes top 5 or fucking close to it, 6.
Yeah. I mean, in contention, yeah.
And then the next thing you know, Masvidal's fighting to get in. And also, I hate to say it, then you got Till, who's coming off 2 back-to-back losses.
You're saying Masvidal wins this fight against Till?
Yes. Hypothetically, Masvidal wins. Now you got Till out in the middle of just a Shark Tank times 10, and he's going to fight anybody to be able to get back in contention. You name anyone in the top fucking 12 you give to Till is a fight beyond
Robbie
belief.
Lawler.
Yeah, there you go. Give him Robbie Lawler, off a loss, or if Robbie hasn't fought yet.
That'll be the.
He'll be the next in line.
Fight, yeah.
So at the end of the day, Robbie Lawler, Till, if Till loses,
I would love to see that fight.
I will pay for that 100%.
Oh yeah.
So good shit on the welterweight, but I agree, that's my only flux. That Masvidal Till, I think that fight is going to change this division even more than it's already been. Thompson and Pettis, it's a second. This division, I'm telling you, in a month, we're going to have a completely different conversation in this division, and it's going to be awesome.
The thing is, every single fight you can set up in this division, I want to see.
Oh, you're not going to be disappointed.
Yeah, this division is so deep. There's so many great fighters. You can just pick them out of a hat, and sign me up. It's going to be good fights. The welterweight division is going to be fantastic to watch. Like I said, I think going into next year, Kamaru Usman will be the champion, because I think he'll only defend his belt one time. It'll be against Colby.
Against Colby. Yeah.
I would predict him to win that fight, but I think it'll be close. I don't know if he'll be able to hold on to it as long as Woodley did. There's not any fighter or champions currently in the UFC that have held on to it that long. I know that Kamaru Usman is young, and he looked extremely dominant against Woodley. He's fantastic. He's looked dominant every fight I've watched him fight. Yeah. But like I said, there are killers all over this welterweight division. And
it's anybody's chance anymore.
It's going to be tough to hold on to it like that.
Nice.
So, not in the top 10 of this welterweight division. Is there anyone you have your eye on?
I can't, because, Masvidal's out of the top 10 position. Yeah, and that guy could have a tear this year if he wants to fight. You get 2 wins in a row, and you're right back into it.
The division's so deep.
It's one of those situations. I agree with you with the a lot of these guys that are coming up, or guys that are switching divisions. I don't think anyone below
I guess Pettis
George
could come in.
Pettis could come in and win one against Thompson and jump up, but I think, honestly, then Pettis gets fucked against anybody that's top 7 or more, because, Pettis comes in and makes something crazy. Hey, go ahead and fight RDA. Oh, by the way, good luck, because you're going to be out. He's not...
Did RDA take Pettis' lightweight championship?
I believe so. Don't quote me on that, but I think he did, because I remember that. That's what I'm saying, though, is when you get in this weight class, there is guys that are beatable all day, but you go up 3 rankings, and you're like, fuck,
Yeah,
There's no way I'm beating this dude.
Everyone in this division.
If you told me right now that Leon Edwards, who you don't know much about, fought Anthony Pettis, I'd say Leon Edwards would beat the dog shit out of Pettis because he's that fucking technical. He beat Cerrone. Granted, when Cerrone was in welter, oh, here we go. Great. Not at lightweight, baby. That fucking Conor fight would happen. You'd be telling me a different story. But
he beat Vicente Luque. That was Vicente Luque's last loss.
That's my point. Leon Edwards is on a 5 to 6 fight winning spree. I can only see his last 5 fights. He's not fighting slackers, and he's also fighting guys that are actively fighting. So he's actively fighting. That guy right now could fuck up anybody below top 14. No problem all day. But anything up to him, who knows?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think Anthony Pettis can come over and just jump into a division and be like, oh, I'm 15. I think Leon Edwards fucks you up. Sorry.
Yeah. A lot to watch for. The welterweight's coming up. A couple fights could go down and just entirely change the landscape. So very fun division.
It's going to be a different conversation next time.
Great fights to watch. Next weekend, we got a couple heavyweight fights coming up.
Yeah, already March, man. Just like that.
February.
Oh, thanks a lot. February 28th sucks, but you know what? It felt long as shit. And then now I'm March 9th, and I'm like, all right, fight time.
So UFC Fight Night 146. We got Blagoy Ivanov and Ben Rothwell making his return.
Yeah, Ben Rothwell, been out a minute.
We've also got Derek Lewis and Junior Dos Santos. So a couple big heavyweight fights. Maybe get some more names towards the bottom of the rankings. Maybe change up a little bit towards the top of the rankings. What do you think about the Ben Rothwell coming back?
It scares me a lot because I'm getting flashbacks of Kane. And the reason I'm getting flashbacks of Kane is I'm not comparing Ben Rothwell to Kane. I'm comparing a guy that has gotten to an age point and been out of fighting at a heavyweight, high-level limit that long that I don't think Ben Rothwell is going to be having a bad gas tank or not have the power. I think Ben Rothwell gets overwhelmed and either gets finished early in the first round in punches or he gets exhausted from carrying his weight around with another guy that's just as athletic and he gets choked out in the second. But Ben Rothwell is also known to just throw a random out of the fuck anywhere heavyweight punch and make me eat my words next week. So I just worry. I see him being as a Kane where he comes in there, looks pretty good, looks like he's been taking care of himself, going to go in there and knock out, but has not punched anybody in basically 3.5 years. Yeah, that's in a competitive field.
It's going to be interesting to see how he handles that. I mean, it's coming back to a heavyweight fight after being out, and heavyweight fight is an MMA fight.
I mean, I would love to see him do well, but that's a lot of time off from when he was active all the time, knocking out Brendan Schaub. I mean, he was doing a lot of big things. Rothwell was looking very well as a contender multiple times.
A win here gets him probably ranked again.
Yeah, that's very true. So that'll be an interesting fight. Anything on you on that?
No, I'm just be looking to see how he reacts after being out for so long. Yeah, it's tough to say what he's going to be looking like, but I do think that a win puts him back into the conversation of being ranked. Yep. And the main event is Derek Lewis and Junior Dos Santos. The Black Beast. The Black Beast. Because his balls is hot. Yep. And
got his own shampoo now. Good for him.
Yeah, so this is a big one.
This is monsters.
I think Junior Dos Santos is who I'm picking in this.
I can't disagree with you because I've seen with that time off and how dedicated and how good in shape and like pad hitting videos, just him overall, he looks like in a good place. Derek Lewis has been through some fucking wars in the last, 2.5 years. He went from a Mark Hunt loss to Mercedes Tariba, Francis Ngannou, Alexander Volkanovski, and then Daniel Cormier. He was winning ever since the Mark Hunt fight and then fought Daniel Cormier, which no one's going to be mad that he lost to that. Derek Lewis has been through some heavyweight wars. We know how his cardio is. We know how his attitude can get. Junior Dos Santos I think is going to go into this full-fledged and take this absolutely all the way to the end if he has to and just beat up Lewis till he has nothing.
Yeah, I think Derek Lewis being the number 3 heavyweight is overrated. I think that his fight against Francis Ngannou was not that impressive. He just threw a few more punches than Francis Ngannou.
The most boring fight
He lost
ever
that
done.
Alexander Volkov fight.
In the last 2 seconds.
And then knocked him out.
Yep.
And then he was not competitive in the DC fight.
Well, and he did the same Ngannou fight. So, yeah.
Before that, he lost to Mark Hunt. I mean, I think that I'm curious a bit why he's ranked so highly. I mean, I thought it was strange that he got
some big
that
wins at some good times.
Yes, that's all it was.
He
that's
knocked
all it
out
was.
Travis Brown.
And he got to get a win against Francis Ngannou shortly
Yes.
after Francis Ngannou was the scariest person in the world, and shortly before he became the scariest person in the world again.
Which someone should have been sent to the moon that night, and then we ended up having a snooze fest.
So I think Junior Dos Santos.
I think he wears him down.
Yeah, continues his win streak and gets a win here. But at the same time, it's a heavyweight fight in the UFC.
You never know.
Yeah, and it can end at any time.
Yep, I agree. No, I think that's going to be an interesting fight card just because there is a lot of heavyweight blood, something we've been talking about a lot. I think
be good to see some heavyweight fights again.
I think that could change the card up. Plus, you're getting some old with some new, and you're getting some big level changes because, like you said, Ben Rothwell wins. He's back top maybe 12.
Yeah, probably around there.
And then, obviously, Dos Santos, okay, when are we talking about fighting? You know, when are we talking about
he'll be trying to put his name in for the belt.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very quick process for both guys.
So we're going to wrap it up there today. We'll be back next week to talk about...
This Sunday.
Yeah, to talk about the 2 heavyweight fights and then preview UFC 236.
246. We'll get your numbers down. We'll get them down. Good thing I'm here. Hey,
all right, that was a good one.
Talking.
All right.